All right, so what a crazy overnight session, huh? So today is May 29th. End of month flows are here. And also we had the tariffs news that they were blocked by a court, and the market rallied after the close. It went crazy. It went all the way up to almost that point of control, that untested point of control that I mentioned yesterday. I think it missed it by a tick, if I'm not mistaken. And then, you know, we were hanging here, and then suddenly the White House says that they're going to appeal, and now we're coming down. So we have a spike, we have a bullish imbalance, but then, you know, most of this move was negated by the other set of news. So now we're back at yesterday's high. So, but we still have the spike that hasn't been tested. So I think the key for today is going to be looking at value from yesterday. Do we come down and accept inside value and do a value sweep to value area low yesterday, or do we just hold this and maybe bounce at value area high and then either, you know, fill this area with volume, chop around, or attempt to come back into this distribution? So I think, you know, it's tricky because it really could go either way, right? We could have the bearish scenario, which is value area sweep. We have a balance scenario, which we can't go anywhere, we just stay around here. Or we have the bullish scenario, which is about 59.80-ish, and sweep through this distribution and keep making new highs. So we just got, I think we gotta treat it as three separate areas, and go one area from another, and see where the order flow takes us when the market opens and the big players get repositioned. So I mean, so far we're in a, you know, in an uptrend, one time framing up. We broke the weekly, the previous week's high. So, you know, it is bullish. So watch yesterday's high, watch value area high, and see where we go from there. If we lose value area low, if we do the value area sweep and we lose value area low, we still have one set of single prints from yesterday that we left after coming back down here. One little set here, right above the 5901. 5901 is yesterday's close. You see all this volume here, that's where we closed yesterday. So inventory is 100% long, so if we do the value area sweep, then the next logical target is the 5901. And then from there we still have another spike here, so we have two spikes, and then if that gets negated, then the targets are the targets from yesterday, which is the 58.55, and then they got filled at 58.43. I'm sorry, I'm getting all the numbers wrong, but and then from there it will be the same scenario as I posted yesterday. So look at value for this session, but we're kind of far away from that. So for NQ is a little different, because look how high, how far away from yesterday's high we are. ES broke out and then came back into value, but NQ is above value, and we have this single print and we have low volume here, so this is going to act as support. So it's a little tricky in that sense, because it's a pretty big divergence. You know, when you see it when you see it next, one next to each other, you can see better. So we have value here for ES, broke above it, came back into value, right, into the range. And Q, we have value here, broke above it, and is holding above it. So it could be that if we come down, we test this previous week high for earning Q at 558, and then bounce from there, and at that time ES will be testing yesterday's value. So that's a scenario. So anyway, I mean, the structure we need to look at is the same. Do we get back inside this distribution above 700, or do we hold here, or do we go back inside the range, inside the previous week's range? So it's not. I don't think it's going to be an easy day today, but there's going to be opportunities for sure. So crude, I mentioned yesterday that we had failed to break below, that we're likely gonna test the 63 area, and we tested that overnight. I don't trade much oil this day, so I didn't take any of that, but still, you know, in this range, as I mentioned yesterday. So and gold looked below this 3300, didn't quite get to the 20-day point of control, and then rejected this lows after the news about the appeal, right? So now we're back in this area between 3300 and 3400, which is the same area I was mentioning yesterday, which you can see that we looked below this range, looked below and failing to hold. So now what should happen is that we should go back and revisit the 3400 area. The other thing is that today we have lots of news. So we just had some news earlier, but now we have pending home sales at 10, we have Fed speaking, we have crude oil inventories, we have White House press conference at 1, we have a 7-year yield, 7-year auction, we have more Fed speaking in the afternoon, so lots of things, and tomorrow we have PCE, so we could have a choppy session today. So I think the key is going to be keeping staying aware of these areas that I mentioned earlier, so that we know where we're at all times. This area, and then value area, same thing in Q. Watch this area for resistance, and above it we can look for a move back to the top of that distribution. Alright, good luck, and don't forget to subscribe and like the video.